For decades, the abandoned Edenview Psychiatric Ward had been sealed after countless disappearances of patients and staff. Rumors whispered that it only unlocked at midnight, and anyone who dared enter was never the same again. Death. The stories were terrifying, but 6 young medical interns, Lara Hayes, Ethan Cole, Maya Turner, Ryan Brooks, Zara Knight, Daniel Reed, didn't believe in such legends. For them, it was just an old building, a perfect place for a thrill. That night, curiosity and recklessness drove them into the ward, unaware of the horrors waiting inside. As they stepped in, a cold gust of air swept through the corridor, making their skin crawl. The lights flickered violently, throwing distorted shadows across the walls. Rusted metal doors slammed shut behind them with a deafening bang. And at that exact moment, the hallway clock reset to 12 a.m. They laughed nervously, trying to mask their fear, but deep down each felt a shiver creeping up their spine. Every breath felt heavier, colder, as though the air itself was watching them. The hallway stretched endlessly, lined with broken beds, peeling walls, and dusty wheelchairs that creaked faintly even when untouched. Faint whispers echoed from nowhere, growing louder with each step, almost like voices calling their names. Shadows shifted unnaturally in their peripheral vision. Every door they passed seemed more sinister than the last, some covered in dark stains, some with scratches that looked like claw marks. They tried their phones, but no signal could reach them. The building was alive, feeding on their fear, watching their reactions, savoring every moment of their panic. Ethan, overconfident as always, moved ahead toward one of the patient rooms, eager to prove the hauntings were fake. Inside, a wheelchair slowly turned toward him, as if someone unseen was sitting in it. Before anyone could react, invisible hands shot out, lifting him into the air. His screams echoed through the hallway, cutting through the oppressive silence. The others tried to grab him, but their hands passed through his body as though he were already gone. A sickening crack sounded, and Ethan's neck snapped. His body fell limply to the floor, then disintegrated into ash, leaving only an empty, silent corridor behind. The lights flickered violently, and in a blink, the group found themselves back at the entrance of the ward. The hallway, the bloodstains, the scratches, everything had reset. Panic surged. Lara and Daniel tried to take control, urging everyone to stick together, but fear was contagious. Shadows moved faster now. Whispers became urgent, almost screaming, and the interns realized they were caught in an endless time loop. Every door led back to the same corridor. Every hallway repeated itself, mocking them. Maya froze as she heard her name called, in a familiar, distorted voice. Against Lara's desperate warnings, she ran toward the sound, her footsteps echoing like gunshots in the endless corridor. She disappeared into the electroshock treatment room, the old machines suddenly crackling with life. The twisted shadow of Ethan lunged at her. She screamed as electricity surged through her body, contorting her in unimaginable pain. When Lara and Daniel finally forced the door open, Maya lay motionless on the cold metal floor, eyes wide in horror, her body rigid, the clock flashing 12 a.m. once again. Now only Lara, Ryan, Zara, and Daniel remained. Courage faltered, replaced by a gnawing dread. Whispers invaded their minds, taunting them with visions of death, whispering the inevitable fate awaiting them. Ryan, desperate to fight, swung a metal rod at the shadows, but it passed through nothing. The darkness was alive, feeding on their fear, growing stronger with each passing moment. The shadows struck with terrifying precision. Ryan was dragged into the wall by unseen hands, his body contorting in impossible angles. He screamed in agony, then vanished entirely, leaving no trace. Zara, paralyzed with fear, ran blindly into a dark corridor, only to vanish into the shadows. Daniel tried reasoning with the entities, shouting scientific explanations, but the ward ignored logic. It demanded terror. The walls themselves seemed to breathe, contracting and expanding, pushing him to the ground. When Lara glanced back, Daniel was gone, swallowed by the oppressive darkness. Lara was left alone, trembling uncontrollably. Every corridor twisted unnaturally. Doors led to nowhere. Shadows stretched and contracted as if alive. Whispers surrounded her from every direction, their words a distorted mix of promises, threats, and mocking laughter. The faceless shadow that had consumed her friends appeared in the distance, dozens of twisted faces turning toward her. Her chest heaved as she ran, adrenaline and sheer desperation fueling her every step. Hours passed, or perhaps only minutes. Time was meaningless. The ward's oppressive presence weighed on her mind, bending reality. She stumbled upon broken beds, scattered patient files, and walls smeared with unidentifiable stains that seemed fresh and wet. The whispers became screaming voices, chanting, repeating, "No one leaves, except the lucky one." The shadow followed, relentless, a moving mass of darkness with 1,000 contorted faces. At the faintest glimmer of dawn, a broken window provided a thin ray of sunlight. Lara lunged toward it, smashing through the glass and tumbling onto the grass outside. Itch! She collapsed, gasping for air, her body shaking violently. Behind her, the ward loomed silently, dark and waiting, patient and eternal. Her friends were gone, swallowed by the midnight ward, never to return. Even as she was escorted to safety, the whispers lingered in her mind. The lucky one survives. Lara survived by chance. But the memory of the ward, the faceless shadow, and the screams of her friends would haunt her forever. The hospital remained dark and silent, waiting for the next group, ready to reset the clock to 12 a.m. and begin its deadly game once again. The legend was true. The ward was alive, and it was hungry.